Matthew chapter 14. In that term, Herod the Tetrarch heard the hearing about Jesus and said to his boys, "This one is John the Baptizer. He was awakened from the died ones, and therefore the ability powers in work in him. For Herod, having held John, bound him and set him away in jail because of Herodias, the woman of Philip, his brother. For John had said, 'Not is it allowed for you to have her.' And wanting to slay him, he was made to fear regarding the throng, since they had him as a prophet. But the birthday celebrations of Herod having become, the daughter of Herodias danced in the midst, and she pleased Herod. Wherefore, with a swear oath, he likeworded to give her whatsoever she requested. But she, having been prompted by her mother, explained, 'Give me the head of John the Baptizer here on a platter.' And the regent was saddened. But because of the swear oath, and those lying up together with him to supper, he commanded it to be given. And sending, he let John be beheaded in jail. And his head was brought on a platter, and was given to the girl, and she brought it to her mother. And his learning ones, having come, lifted his fallen body and entombed him, and having come, they announced it to Jesus. But hearing this, Jesus absconded up from there in a ship into a desolate place, for he himself alone, and hearing this, the throngs followed him going on foot from the cities. And having come out, he perceived a many numerous throng, and he was innerly moved on account of them, and he cured their ailing. But when evening had become, the learning ones came to him, saying, 'A desolate region is this place, and the hour to eat has already come past by. Hence, unloosen the throngs, so that as ones having come away into the regions, they may buy food for themselves.' But he said to them, 'They do not have need to come away. Do you give them to eat?' But they say to him, 'We do not have any bread here except 5 and 2 fish.' But he said, 'Bring them here to me.' And he commanded that the throngs be reclined up on the grass. And having taken the 5 loaves of bread and the 2 fish, and being capable of uplooking into the heaven, he blessed them. And breaking the bread, he gave them to the learning ones, but the learning ones gave them to the throngs. And all ate and were satiated, and they lifted the abounding of the broken pieces 12 full panniers. But those eating were about 5,000 men, without women and playing ones. And straightway he necessitated the learning ones to step into the ship, and to sail out before him towards the shore beyond, till he may unloosen the throngs. And unloosening the throngs, he stepped up into a mountain for himself alone to pray. But when evening had become, he was there alone. But the ship was already in the middle of the sea, being tormented by the billows, for the wind was in opposition to them. But in the 4th watch time of the night he came to them, having come, walking on the sea. But the learning ones, having perceived him walking on the sea, were troubled, saying, 'It is an appearance.' And seized by fear they cried. But straightway Jesus spoke to them, saying, 'Be encouraged, it is I, fear not.' But answering him, Peter said, 'Lord, if it is you, yea, you, command me to come to you on the waters.' But he said, 'Come.' And having descended from the ship, Peter walked in that he came on the water. Hence he came to Jesus. But looking at the wind, he was made to fear, and Origen began to be made to sink down. He cried, saying, 'Lord, save me.' But straightway outstretching the hand, Jesus took on him and says to him, 'You little faithing one, toward what did you hesitate?' And at their stepping up into the ship, the wind tired. But those in the ship crawled prayingly to him, saying, 'Truly, you are the Son of God.' And coming through to the beyond, they came onto the earthland, into Gennesaret. And on knowing him, the men of that place dispatched into the whole region round about, and they brought to him all those having it badly. And beside called him that they may only touch the tassel of his raiment. And as many as touched him were saved.